Welcome back, Giants fans. So the preseason's over, thank God. I must say. I mean, it was great to see Giants football back, of course, after a long summer. But still, I mean, it sometimes gets a little rough in those preseason games. And I'm sure some of you who watched the game saw fans doing the wave in the third quarter. It's like we don't see that at football games too often in the regular season, at least. I mean, that's when you know that's supposed to be for baseball games. I still love baseball, but I get why people think it's boring. Anyway, so I'll just go over some news real quick. So this is from Zach Rosenblatt. Of course, Evan Engram, Darius Slayton had some injuries in this game. I didn't see Slayton get hurt, but I know Evan Engram had a calf issue. He says that Joe Judge said that they are optimistic about their injuries, so that's definitely good news for the Giants. If you care about the Patriots, they are yet to name a starting quarterback. That's what Bill Belichick said. So that's the news on both ends right now. So anyway, we'll go over this game and just what I saw. We saw the starters play for a half. It was good to see Daniel Jones out there for sure. I definitely wanted to see what he could do and, if he made any improvements over the offseason. And that's where we'll start. So Daniel Jones, how did he perform? So statistics-wise, it looked pretty good. 17 of 22, 135, one touchdown, one interception. He was sacked twice. So Daniel Jones did what Daniel Jones does. He made the plays he was supposed to make, and then he made a very crucial mistake. He almost made two crucial mistakes on a ball that was nearly taken back for a pick six. I don't know who the receiver was. I forget now, but he made a throw to the left side and it was too far inside the corner. It might have been J.C. Jackson, almost undercut it and took it back, but luckily it wasn't. But Daniel Jones did what he does. He was hitting guys in stride at some points, and then at some points he just he threw one ball out of bounds. He threw one ball for an interception on the 1 yard line. That's where I got annoyed. And I wish I could erase that play from my memory because you hate to see that stuff. That's how you lose football games, especially on the 1 yard line. And the thing that annoyed me the most was that play was a third down. It wasn't like it was a fourth down play. Not to say a fourth down goal line interception is good, but you had another down to play with, and Daniel Jones, I don't want to say forced the ball because Engram was open. He just missed him. So that was the upsetting part about it, is if Daniel Jones made the throw, the Giants would have put up 7 right there. So, I don't want to blame Daniel Jones, but you got to make that throw. I know people say well, if you take away the interception, he had a good day, but you can't take away an interception on the 1 yard line. This is the same crap that happened last year. Remember the Rams game in I think it was week 4. The Giants were in the game with the Rams until the fourth quarter. Daniel Jones rolls out to the right and throws that inexcusable interception when he could have ran for a first down. So you can't just say take that one interception away when you're talking about Daniel Jones, because that's been the downside of his career so far. So I know it's not a fumble. He did a good job of hanging on to the ball today. There were a couple times I thought the ball was going to be loose because the offensive line, who I guess we'll talk about next, they were not very good. We saw the first unit, and Andrew Thomas, man, I don't know what's going on with him. I really don't. I'm not an offensive line expert, but something's going on with his hands. I don't know what it is. His feet looked okay to me, but he just couldn't square up anybody. It's every time he got his hands on somebody, they were getting swiped down and a guy was going right around them. It was bad. So Andrew Thomas, played a half, and there must have been at least 3 or 4 snaps where he looked just lost, and you can't have that at left tackle. So that was rough to see. He was definitely a guy that we are hoping plays better, and I still have confidence he'll be fine, but that's not what you want to see. And what's supposed to be a preseason finale, and the starters are supposed to play and look good and get ready for week 1. That's not what you want to see from Andrew Thomas. And then at right tackle, we had Nate Solder start the game. He didn't do anything too bad from what I saw, and then Matt Parrott and him kind of switched off at some points. Matt Parrott had a really good rep at one point, had a really bad rep at one point, kind of an up and down performance from him. The rest of the offensive line, I don't really remember anybody being too bad, but the whole Andrew Thomas thing was you don't want to see that. So Andrew Thomas has to fix it up the next couple weeks before Denver, because you can't have that against Von Miller or Bradley Chubb. It's just not going to go well for this team. And then week 2 against Washington. So they got to, tighten that up, as Aaron Boone would say. It's just not good. So the offensive line concerned me. The receivers, Sterling Shepard looked good. His stat line was 5 catches, 40-something yards. He looked pretty good out there. He ran a nice curl route, comeback route. He was, showing his route running ability, making catches, and, was the go-to guy for Daniel Jones. And then Darius Slayton, he had the bad drop. And once again, I said he was injured before, but, he had the bad drop before the injury. It was a third down play. Daniel Jones hung in there in the pocket, made a nice throw. It hit Slayton pretty much right in the chest, basically, and he dropped it. So you can't have that. That's really been the downfall of Darius Slayton's career so far. I mean, he's had a good career for a fifth-round pick, don't get me wrong, but if Darius Slayton can just get rid of the drops and cut those in half, he would probably be a lot better right now. So that's the one downside to Slayton. Of course, he's not the best separator in the world, but, he makes big plays, but, the drops are bad. We saw some last year where it was very bad. So, Slayton's fine as a wide receiver 3 or 4, but you can't put him into that wide receiver 2 or, dare I say wide receiver 1 territory unless he really cuts those drops down. So Evan Engram, he was involved in the offense at some points. He almost scored a touchdown. He was very close, got down to the 1-yard line. I'm trying to look for his stats real quick. Engram was 3 catches, 22 yards. All right, so yeah, he should have had a touchdown in this game. As I said, Daniel Jones should have hit him on that play. It just, a throw got away from him. I mean, he was open. Some people say, why throw that ball? But he was open. I think you should throw that ball every time, but Daniel Jones just has to make the throw. Damian Willis had a pretty nice game. I mean, it was 2 catches, I remember. He had the Hail Mary on a nice play by Mike Glennon, by the way. Kind of reminded me of, it was kind of like a poor man's version of the DeAndre Hopkins Hail Mary last year, the Hail Murray, as they call it, because Kyler Murray, he rolled out to his left and made a nice throw across his body, left corner of the end zone. Same kind of thing here, just not as cool looking. But, Mike Glennon rolled out to the left, bought himself enough time, threw it up, and then I think Damian Willis caught one over, I think it was Shaun Wade, I'm not sure, but he caught one over a Patriots defender. They were out of place, so that was great to see. Of course, Damian Willis also had a very nice catch on the sideline, where at first they called it incomplete, and then the ruling on the field was a catch. And I think Joe Judge challenged it, took the flag out of his sock, threw it on the field, and then they said on the field that it was a rule of completion. So that was interesting, but they got the call right. So Willis looked good. He's definitely a guy on the roster bubble. Maybe this will help him make the team. Alex Bachmann had a bad drop in there at one point, but he also had a couple nice catches in this game. I believe he scored a touchdown. I can actually look right now, right in front of me. Yes, he did score a touchdown, so he looked okay. There was a backup tight end who made a couple nice catches, Nakia Griffin-Stewart. I don't know who that is. He has a Vikings jersey on in this picture, so he might be the potential 4th tight end if the Giants do want to keep 4. So who else was in there? Gary Brightwell. Gary Brightwell looked okay. The whole him versus Corey Clement thing, I don't know who's going to win that job. I do lean Brightwell now because Brightwell was the first guy playing. I think Brightwell played with the 1s today. We did not see Corey Clement with the 1s. So, maybe it is Gary Brightwell's job right now. We'll find out what the Giants do on Tuesday when the final cuts come out. But Brightwell, I believe, is practice squad eligible. So maybe they keep Clement and then put Brightwell on the practice squad. I don't know how they're going to do it. But right now, at least, based on how we saw the players out there in the first half, it looks like Gary Brightwell has the upper hand right now. Devontae Booker wasn't too impressive. He averaged 2 yards a carry. It wasn't really that great, but nothing to complain about there. On the defensive side of the ball, Sam Beal made some plays. I will say Sam Beal looked okay out there. Madre Harper made a nice tackle at one point. The guy dropped the ball. It was a weird play. I don't know if you guys watched this game all the way through. The Patriots receiver ran a quick out, and he caught the ball. It looked like between his legs, but it actually hit the ground. The Giants didn't challenge it, but they didn't get the first down anyway. So Madre Harper had a nice hit on that play. Rodarius Williams made a nice play in the end zone on somebody. I don't know who it was, but he knocked a potential touchdown away, a long completion away. That was good to see out of Rodarius. Dexter Lawrence had a sack in there. The quarterback held on to the ball for a while, but Dexter Lawrence did his thing. He did have a penalty, I saw, but, it wasn't the worst thing in the world. Nobody else stood out too much. Lorenzo Carter got a sack. That was good to see. Blake Martinez, I forgot to mention. He only has 1 tackle. That's why he's on the bottom, but he had a very nice interception up the seam. And, I think Cam laid out a pretty good pass, too. I forget who the receiver was on that play as well, but Cam laid out a pretty nice-looking pass, and Blake Martinez kind of just played through the receiver's hands and kind of stole the ball from him. It was a really nice play from Blake Martinez, so you love seeing that. Of course, Tate Crowder had 1 tackle, but I remember that was a very nice run stop for a loss. Not much out of McKinney, Ojulari, Carter Coughlin was quiet, but yeah, just the usual. We didn't see much from Bradbury, Leonard Williams. They did play, but they didn't do much, I will say. So yeah, I wasn't this game didn't give me a positive outlook on the offense. It's kind of what I expect from the Giants. a team that's going to be kind of carried by their defense. And like the crappy part about the Giants is all they need is an average offense. That's all we need, just average. I know that defensive regression's real, and the Giants defense may not be as good as they were last year. The Giants played a lot of backup quarterbacks last year and all that stuff. But like, based on what we've seen so far in the preseason and plus what we saw last year and some of the guys they brought in, especially if Adoree Jackson stays healthy, this defense should be fine. Like, they're not going to be bad. I think their defense might either be pretty good or really good. We'll find out which one it is. Hopefully it's really good. But the offense has the potential to be bottom 5 in the NFL, which is terrible. So you don't want to see that. If the offense is average, the Giants should be fine. But can they put out an average offense? I don't know. Jason Garrett, I mean, his playbook looks a little better from last year, but I'm not like noticing anything drastic here. So, I'm not really optimistic about the offense. Hopefully I'm wrong, but we saw a lot of like the same old Daniel Jones. We're seeing a lot of the same old Jason Garrett, the same old Darius Slayton. Engram's getting injured, which might be same old. I know he played 16 games last year, but hopefully he's fine. But, the offensive line, same old crap. So there was some same old, but there also is some stuff to look forward to. And as I mentioned in my last video, I believe the Giants don't have their full, their offensive full strength. There is no Kyle Rudolph. There is no Kadarius Toney. There is no Kenny Golladay. There's even no John Ross. So, you can put those 3-4 guys in there, and maybe that drastically changes things for the offense. I hope so, but how much can that really... I feel like the Giants' problems sometimes are rooted deeper than that. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you can fix an offense by throwing in some great playmakers. We saw Odell Beckham disguise the offense back in 2016, but how much can a Kenny Golladay, Kyle Rudolph, and Kadarius Toney really do for this offense? But as I said, I don't expect the Giants offense to be great. I don't think they're going to be top 5 or top 10, but just be average. Be somewhere from 10 to 20 in the NFL, please. That's all I ask. Like, please, I'm not asking for much. Just do that, and they should be fine. So that's pretty much all I got. The Giants actually won the possession battle, which I saw. That's very rare for this team. It was good to see that. 7 for 15 on 3rd down, 1 for 1 on 4th down. Elijah Penny, by the way, I forgot to mention him. He looked very good. I had Elijah Penny making the team in my 53-man roster prediction over Cullen Gillespie, so I feel good about that one now. Maybe they keep both. I've seen some people that say they might keep both because Gillespie is like this supposed to be, really good special teams player. Maybe they keep both guys. I don't know, but I feel good about Elijah Penny making the team after that performance. Giants had 4 sacks, also allowed 4 sacks, but yeah, the team battles kind of favored the Giants. I know they lost the game, but still, Graham Gano missed a field goal, which ended up being the difference here. The Giants did go for 2 to try and tie the game. They went for Dante Pettis on a fade. It was a little, he tried to one-hand it, didn't really work. So it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, look, it wasn't a bad game, but I was hoping for a little better from the offense. But it is what it is. Hopefully as the season goes on, they get better. But as I've said before, the matchups the first couple weeks are tough. Some people may take the Broncos lightly because their record's not good. It's more about their quarterback. The Broncos have a legit defense. I'm not even talking about their secondary, which I do like. I'm a big fan of the Broncos secondary, very young and exciting and talented. But also their pass rush, Shelby Harris, Bradley Chubb, Von Miller. They have some dogs on that defense. Then week 2, the quick turnaround on Thursday. Jonathan Allen, Daron Payne, Montez Sweat, Chase Young may end up being the best edge rusher in football by the time this year's over. So it's rough. So, the offensive line has to be a lot better, is all I'm saying. I'm definitely nervous. I'm concerned, but hopefully they figure it out in time. I have no idea, what to expect, but hopefully it's something good. So we'll find out what happens. But that's all I got. I'm not going to rant too hard about a preseason game, but, there was some good, some bad. But I am excited for September 12th. Hopefully the Giants go 1-0 and then quickly go 2-0 and get a nice little break, and then we just focus on the rest of the season. So that's the best case scenario. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Once again, I'll have the schedule prediction coming out. I'll answer some of your community page questions, and I'll have some Giants sleeper/breakout picks for this 2021 season. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you guys next time.